And a full pull for Bill. Up next is going to be the Habercorn score pair, Pete and Bill. After that is going to be Blondie and Connie, the Josh Wickham pair, and then Ted and Buster, the Mike Cohn pair.
From the, you realize that?
And that was a full pull by the Habercorn score pair with Pete and Bill. Josh, you're up with Blondie and Connie. And then Mike, you're up with Ted and Buster. And then Todd, you're up with Jerry and Charlie. Our team that we have coming in here right now is a team of mares. We don't often see mares come into our competition. So we have 2 female horses is Josh's team here today. Good job, Josh. That was a full pull. Mike, you're up with Ted and Buster. And then Todd, you're up with Jerry and Charlie. For any of us that may be slightly unknowledgeable to horses, so the mare team that we just saw, yes, we have a mare that is with foal, and we are slowly trying to wean the baby off. So she is slightly uddered. She is not injured in any way, shape, or form. I just want that to be out there during this competition. Full pull, Mike. Todd, you are up, and then judges, that's the last of this round. And that was a full pull for Todd. Judges, we're ready for more weight. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and being with us here early this morning. You are watching a competition by the Wisconsin Horse Pullers Association. I'd like to thank our judges who are out there. Our line judge is David Ward. He's the one judging distance and making official calls. Then we have our granddaughter of Ray Garb out there, Olivia. She was the one that played the flute. And then we have Tamra, who is a daughter of Gary Smith out there on a line also. All right, we've added 1,500 pounds, bringing us up to 4,000. Gentlemen, we will be adding the 1,500. It will take us to 4,000. I'd also like to thank the Cohn family. The Cohn family brought down the stone boat and the weights this morning to make this competition possible. We have two divisions of the horse pulling competition today that we will be putting on for you. Right now you're watching the lightweights, and after this competition is completed, we'll go into heavyweights. We have first place trophies for each division. These trophies are sponsored by Fry Livestock. We will having a presentation by Ray Garb and his great-granddaughter Olivia after each one for the first place individual to come up and receive the trophy. Okay, gentlemen, we're ready. Josh Wickham, bring in your first pair with Dynamite and Mike, please. I want to remind you, gentlemen, that we do have a heavyweight division behind you guys. You are on the clock today when you do have the whistle blown for you to come forward. We do want to keep this moving because there is a chance of rain today, and there is also another competition that needs this track when we're finished. I am giving you a heads up that you're next, so let's be down and ready. Kenny Markham, you're after Josh. Todd Ward, Pat, and Bill are after Kenny. Good job, Josh. Full pull at 4,000 pounds. Ken Markham, you're up, followed by Todd Ward, followed by Bill Cohn. Josh comes to us from the Menominee area of our state. Ken Markham with Opie. And George comes to us from Elkhorn. Good job, Kenny. Todd, Pat, and Bill, followed by Bill with Babe and Cash, and then Pete and Bill with the Habercorn score pair. How many of you are seeing your first competition here this morning? Oh, thank you. Thank you and very welcome for being here. We love seeing new individuals in our crowd, learning about our competitions and sports of horse pulling. And a full pull for Todd. Up next, you'll be seeing Bill Cohn with his pair, Babe and Cash. The Cohn family comes to us from Marquezan, and the exhibitor we just saw, Todd Ward, comes to us from Reeseville, Waterloo area. And a full pull for Bill. Habercorn score pair is up next, and they come to us from the Cambridge Deerfield area. When I say a full pull, ladies and gentlemen, that is 27.5 feet in distance. And a full pole for that pair. Josh, you're up with Blondie and Connie. Then Mike Cohn with Ted and Buster. And then Todd Ward with your second pair, Jerry and Charlie. Not only is a full pole 27.5 feet, ladies and gentlemen, but also out there on our track you see 2 yellow ropes. Those ropes are set 16 feet apart. We have line judges because not at any time can the horse's foot cross or step on that line. If it is crossed or stepped on, that pole does not count. They have 3 attempts to get the full 27.5 feet. I will try to explain as this gets heavier and as we move along how those are done, but they are not ever added together. To get a full 27.5 feet, we do not add distance. And there too was a full pole for Josh. Mike, you are up with Ted and Buster, and then Todd. This competition, as we add weight, will get considerably heavier. We ask the crowd to please enjoy the show, but while we have horses on the boat, we ask that you refrain from hoes, woes, goes, and overexcitement. Any of that can stop a team and therefore affect the performance for these owners with their horses. And a full pole for Mike. Todd is coming up with Jerry and Charlie, and judges, Todd is the end of the round. Okay, everything is okay. What we have is what we call or consider a breakdown. Our tug came unhooked. That is the long leather strap with a section of chain at the back side of it. We allow these individuals to go to the side where they can reconnect and fix the harness, and then they get a chance to come back in. The little bit of distance that they would have gotten during this breakdown is not considered or counted. And a good job, Todd. Todd made a full pole through our second round. So a little bit more about this competition, ladies and gentlemen. How this takes place is we started with a weight of 2,500. Each time we go through a round, which is what we call all 8 pair, or the competition as it evolves, we do a process of elimination until you get down to that winning pair. So the process of elimination takes place by allowing them 3 tries to get that full 27.5 feet. If they do not get a full 27.5 feet through those 3 tries, they do not go into the next round. Again, the weights are not added. So each time they attempt, we just take that distance and they place with the best distance of the 3 attempts. Earlier, I had told our competitors that they are on the clock today. What that means is our association has rules, and the first hook, once the judges are ready for that competitor, they have 3 minutes to get to the stone boat, hook, and do a distance. With hook number 2, they have 2 minutes to be hooked and pull a distance. And with hook number 3, they go back to 3 minutes to get hooked and pull a distance. The judges are going to add 1,000 this round, taking us to 5,000 weight. Competitors, this is a no spot pull. There is no tractor here for you today, so this is a no spot pull. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have seen this before, you may have seen where the individuals have a chance to have a tractor come in and put the stone boat where they want it on the track. We do not have that today. So today, you take the boat where it stops. There will be no spotting of that boat. You take it where it is. Whistle's been blown, so we are ready for the Josh Wickham Dynamite and Mike pair. So obviously this has gotten heavier. It's gotten heavier by 1,000 pounds. You will start to see some of these teams really pay attention to their drivers. So please remember, no hose, woes, goes, or anything of too much excitement. However, all these competitors love to hear your appreciation at the end when the horses are being unhooked and heading back. So again, this is Josh Wickham with Dynamite and Mike. And Josh comes to us from the Menominee area. And don't forget, this was your winning pair. One minute. There, let's show him appreciation. Good job, Josh. Again, that was your winning team last night up in Viroqua. I understand that that competition always goes fairly late. I know a few individuals that are here this morning for you didn't get home until the wee AMs of 1 and 2. So I'd like to thank all of the competitors for being back out and about with us today, putting on a competition here in Beaver Dam Fair. Up next is Ken Markham with Opie and George. Then Todd, you were up with Pat and Bill. And then Bill Cohn, you were up with Babe and Cash. Good job, Kenny. So we have 2 full poles across on the 5,000. Todd, you are up next. A little bit about our association. I want all of you to know that it takes a great group of gentlemen and some ladies out here to make these competitions function for you. We have our horse owners and drivers. Not all of the drivers actually own these teams. Some of them might just drive and be partners. We have our hookers, who are the 2 gentlemen that put themselves at risk behind these horses, getting them attached to the stone boat. We have some assistant drivers. We have gentlemen that stand over by the horses at the fence so that we know they remain calm and you guys can take a good look at them and approach them. We have our stone boat operators, our tractor drivers. So I'd just like to give a round of applause when this team is finished for all the thank you that everybody does. Good job, Todd. That was a full pull. Could we put our hands together for all the competitors that are here today? They've been doing a great job with this competition so far, and to all the people that help us put it together. I'd also like to thank Beaver Dam Fair for having us here and for the people that they get onto their track to make this possible for us. Bill Cohn, you are up next with Babe and Cash. Our association presents itself on today's technology with the Facebook page. We also have web pages, so feel free to go on to your technology sources and look us up. The association also has memberships. Any one of you out there could be a member for a small fee. What that does is it gives you the privilege of a newsletter and knowledge of knowing how we're doing and where we're at. The distance on that first pull is 13.6. 13.6 for Bill Cohn with Babe and Cash. Next up then is the Hoppercorn Score pair with Pete and Bill. And then Josh Wickham with Blondie and Connie. And then Mike Cohn with Ted and Buster. So this is where we've started to see this track be a little more difficult. The stone boat has gotten heavier at 5,000 pounds. So not all of our teams are going to start getting it that full 27.5 feet. When they are finished, we will announce their distance, and this is where our 3 counts will start playing into the scene. Good job. That is a full pull. Full pull for the Hoppercorn Score pair. Josh Wickham, you're up with Blondie and Connie, then Mike, and then Todd. Josh is going to call it a finish for that day, this team. Let's put our hands together for Josh with Blondie and Connie. Thank you very much, Josh, for being here. Like I had mentioned earlier, this is a pair of mares, and the one mare, she's kind of struggling with the fact that her baby is gone. She's getting herself an udder, so we don't want to hurt her, and we certainly don't want to get her unhealthy. So again, thank you, Josh, for being here, and we enjoyed seeing your mares pulled today. So Mike Cohn, you are up with Ted and Buster, followed by Todd with Jerry and Charlie. Distance on that pair was 3 feet. Todd, you're up with Jerry and Charlie. So like many organizations, we call ourselves an association, and our association does get made up of a board of members. So we have president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. We have all of those in our association. And then what we have also is what we call district members, and those are 2 members per district. So if you take the state of Wisconsin and divide it into 4, we have 2 members per quadrant that are part of our board that help make decisions and see competitions through in their district. With us today, we have lots of board members, and I'll kind of point them out to you as the day goes through. Good job, Todd. Full pull. Bill Cohn, you would be up for a retrial with Babe and Cash, followed by Mike Cohn with a retrial for Ted and Buster. We're up for retrials. Are we hooking, Bill? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Bill. Bill is done. Bill is going to qualify here today with a distance of 13.6. He came to us from the Marquezan area. Thank you very much. That brings him to his brother, Mike. Mike, you are up, and he too is going to pass. Thank you, both of you, for being here today. The distances that are going to place them for Bill is a 13.6, and for Mike is a 3 foot. So we are ready for more weight, judges. I'm sure many of you, when you watched, you saw when that got heavy, it got heavy right away. So we've started with 8 teams. We are going to begin this round. I'll announce the weight after the judges tell me what we put on, with 6 teams that have crossed at the full distance. And then we had Josh, who quit for the health and safety of his horses. So we are actually going in with 5 teams. As I had said before, this competition today, brought to you by the Wisconsin Horse Pullers, has two divisions. We're watching the lights, and we have the heavies. One of the differences in the two divisions is your lightweights have to weigh in prior to the competition. They weigh in as a team. And in combination together, they have to weigh 3620 or less. So these teams in weight combination weigh 3,600 pounds, 3620 or less. The larger heavyweight division does not do a weigh-in. Each horse in combination can weigh whatever it wants. So again, the first place trophies, they are sponsored to us today by the Fry Livestock. We'll have a brief presentation of the first place trophy by Ray Garb and his great-granddaughter Olivia after each division. I'd like to thank the Cohn family for the stone boat and the weights brought down to us today. They traveled to us out of Marquezan with that, as well as 2 pair of teams. All right, put your hands together. That was Josh Wickham with a full pull. Judges, what did we add? We added 1,000. So that was a 6,000 tug. Good job, Josh. Kenny Markham, you are up. After Kenny is Todd. Again, ladies and gentlemen, a full pole is 27.5 feet. The 2 yellow ropes on our track are 16 feet apart. We have line judges. Those line judges' purpose is to make sure that no one steps on or over that yellow line. If there is a step on or over, a whistle will be blown and that distance does not count. For many of you, you may notice that these teams just nonchalantly walk in and they just look at everything, but when they get closer to that stone boat, if not even right in front of it, they know their job. They start to get antsy and prancy and they are ready to go. Good job, Kenny. Yep, please put your hands together for him. That was two attempts there. First attempt was 8'6". Second attempt was 4'8". Like I said, we have 3 attempts, so at the end of the round, Kenny does have the option to come back in if he would like. Todd, you're up. Followed by Todd is going to be your Habercorn score pair, followed by Todd again with his second pair. Remember, gentlemen, we have a very nice crowd out here today to be watching us. We are feeling a few sprinkles, so let's try to be ready when we're up. So after Todd is going to be our Habercorn score pair. $6'10" for Todd. So something I kind of want to explain. So they have those 3 choices or 3 options to get this across, correct? So Todd got it that first distance of 6'10". As you had seen the team prior to him, Kenny, he had stayed hooked on and took 2 attempts. If you unhook from your first attempt, like Todd just did, you are forfeiting that second attempt. Todd does have that chance to come back in, though, and take a 3rd attempt. So now we are watching the Habercorn score pair with Pete and Bill. Todd, you're up with your second pair after this, and that would be Jerry and Charlie. Good job, Jerry. 5'2" for the Habercorn score pair of Pete and Bill. Todd, your second pair is up. We appear to have ourselves in a really stuck little hole down here, so it has been pretty difficult for most of these teams. You're on 6,000 pounds. We've had one competitor, Josh Wickham, get it across. As I mentioned Josh Wickham, and I mentioned board members, Josh Wickham is our president. Out there on the track, our distance judge, David Ward, is our vice president. Sitting here behind me is our secretary, Donna Shipley Smith. We have Kenny Markham over here. He's in the board of director seat. Good job, Todd. Way to pull it out of that hole. Remember, crowd, it is super important that we don't do the hose, the woes, the goes. Todd is going to stand there for a few moments. He is going to go directly back to the track to take his third. To take his third, he's going to be going the other direction. Judge, what were our distances? 3 foot? Can you repeat the second? 10-6. So Todd had a 3 foot on that first one, a 10-6 on the second, and he's going to go directly back to the boat, opposite direction for the third. So with this being the third attempt, I do ask all of the audience to please contain yourselves, show the appreciation once them horses are off the boat. You're down to 1.5 minutes, Todd. (6'5". So in this weight class of 6,000 pounds, he's going to place with the 10-6. Retrials, Kenny Markham. Your best distance is 8.6. Kenny is going to pass, but let's put our hands together for Kenny, please. He's going to qualify with an 8'6" Hoppercorn score pair. Your distance is 5'2". Are we coming back in? He passes. Put your hands together. And that brings the competition of your light weights to an end. Josh Wickham, would you please bring your team to the front? Dynamite and Mike, this is going to be your winner for the lightweight division. Dynamite and Mike, remind you that they also won last night up in Viroqua. And I'm going to have the full rundown in just 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your full rundown. Josh Wickham with Dynamite and Mike was first. Second was Todd Ward with Jerry and Charlie in second. Third is going to be Ken Markham with Opie and George. Fourth is going to be Pat and Bill with Todd Ward. Fifth is going to be your Hoppercorn score pair, and that was Pete and Bill. Sixth is going to be Babe and Cash with Bill Cohn. And seventh is going to be Mike Cohn with Ted and Buster. And eighth is going to be Josh Wickham with Blondie and Connie. Let's put our hands together for all of these gentlemen. And approaching over here to the table is our first place winner, Josh Wickham with Dynamite and Mike. Congratulations, Josh, and thank you for being with us today from Menominee, Wisconsin. We ask our crowd to please just give us a brief moment. This is going to be an intermission while we adjust our weights. Our heavyweight pullers are going to be getting their horses harnessed and ready to come back out here with us. Some of your competitors that are in the lights you will also see in the heavies. So just give us a brief moment, but please stay with us, and we'll be back with our heavyweight division. While you guys sit over there, I'm just going to explain that these pullers do this out of the love for the competition and the love for their horses and the sport. You ask what might be their little bit of incentive. So our incentive is we are invited here by your fair board to put on a competition for all of you. We get a little bit of a prize money. For many of us, because we come from Menominee, we come from Elkhorn, it is hardly enough to probably put gas back into our tank. But I do assure you that we do this because we love it. We appreciate the crowd. We appreciate sharing our experiences. And some associations put together trophies or plaques or halters of some sort. But we love being here. And again, thank you, all of you, and thank you to the Beaver Dam Fair for having us. Our heavyweight division today is going to be made up of 4 teams. We will have David Cohn first, Lowry Isabel second, Gary Smith third, Habercorn Score fourth. When you teams have yourselves harnessed and ready, please enter the ring, and as soon as we see 4 teams, we'll get this started if the judges are not started and ready before yourselves. How's our crowd doing? Is everybody having a good time? Again, it is so nice to see all of you out here this morning on this gloomy fair day, but it makes it so much nicer just to see faces out here watching us and enjoying us. Is everybody understanding everything okay? Good, good. So like I said, the lightweight division was a 36-20 combination of these horses in weight. Some of these horses that you see come out here for these heavies, on an individual basis, they can weigh 2,200 alone. So you'll see a significant size amongst some of these horses. Generally, our draft horses don't start competing until they're about the age of 5. They can compete for many years if they're taken care of. They can be up to their 20s. These gentlemen, they are true athletes with their horses. We don't just say, okay, we have a competition today, let's go grab them from the pasture and head on out. These gentlemen, aside from working their full-time positions or enjoying retirement for a few of them, they work these horses for hours or at least miles. Some horses might be rode, or not rode, but drove at home for 3 to 5 miles a day, sometimes twice a day. We start them just like any other athlete, where we would start them gentle and leg them up, go to these competitions and demand more as they get better and as they get older. We do have a veterinarian presence where we, and by that I mean that we do have rules and regulations to what we can and cannot accomplish with our horses. So if we are on any form of medication, we do not pull our horses, just like any athlete should not be competing in the world of athletes. So I assure you that these horses are taken care of, and they are taken care of probably better than some of us take care of ourselves. We monitor their health, we take care of their energy, their injuries, and we do a really good job. So I hope you're enjoying these horses and what they can show for power for you guys here today. Not only was there a poll last night in Viroqua, but I understand there's one tomorrow down in De Pere that some of these horses will be attending. There is a poll up in Minnesota that some will be attending. This afternoon that will be, actually. They're going to load up from here and head straight to Minnesota. We do other competitions locally. We have competitions in Marshall, in Deansville on Friday nights for their fish fry. If any of you ever want to look into the calendar, there's some Friday night fish fry competition horse pulls on Friday nights. Judges, I see 4 teams on the track. Do you think we could get ourselves together and get this going? Again, heavyweights, your lineup is going to be David Cohn first, Lowry Isabel second, Gary Smith third, Habercorn Score fourth. Judge David Ward to the track. Let's get this going. Good job, Tamara. All right, entering the track is David Cohn. His horses are Duke and Randy. The Laura Isabel pair is going to be Merle and Tater. The Gary Smith pair is Pete and Nate. And the Habercorn pair is going to be Andy and Dick. Same rules and regulations as what you saw in the lightweight division. 3 attempts to get it across. Same distance, full post 27.5 feet. Ropes are 16 feet apart. We cannot step on or over. Full pull for David Cohen. Good job. Laura Isabel, you're up next. Judge, what is the weight there? 3,000 pounds to get this heavyweight division started. I have a correction to the David Cohn pair. That is a Cohn Skinkus pair. When I mention 2 last names, that means that we have a horse from each owner, and they've gotten together to create a pair or a team. Good job, full pull. So earlier I had mentioned that you don't have to be an owner of these horses. So the Laura Isabel pair is a perfect sign of that. That is Jay Bowie doing our driving. Laura Isabel pair are owned by the Lowry and Zabel. Gary Smith is up with Pete and Nate, and then is the Habercorn score pair with Andy and Dick. Good job, Gary. Full pull for Gary. Habercorn score pair. Something I want to point out, if those of you that would pay attention to this horse that's walking in the arena right now, it's the one that's closest to you. It has mane. It is not completely shaved, or what we call roaching. What that is something Gary does, and some of the other horse pullers do too, as that is a young horse. As these horses get better and get more accomplished, he will take more and more mane off. When you see the full mane gone, that means they have made that driver or made that owner happy. They can only continue to get better, and they take that mane off for them. Okay, quiet, please. All right, I'm going to explain that for you. So your first whistle you heard blown by our line judge. She blew the whistle, the line was stepped on, that does not count. He stayed on, horses started. Second whistle you heard by the distance judge. That was a full pull. Congratulations, Jerry, for the full pull with Andy and Dick. Judges, that is the end of the round. We need more weight. All right, the judges are done adding weight. David Cohn, you are up first with your pair of Duke and Randy. And this is the father to Bill and Mike who pulled in the lightweight division. Full pull. Good job, David. Laurie Isabel pair, you're going to be up next, followed by Gary Smith, followed by Howard Cohn score. Judges, correct me if I'm wrong. We added 1,000 pounds. Yep. We are up to a 4,000 weight. Good job, Jay. That was a Laurie Isabel pair of Merle and Tater, and that was a full pull. So as Jay was passing me, I asked what he thought that the dark horse in his team weighed, and he thinks it's right around 2,300, maybe a little bit more. So that is just to show you what size is all about. Good job, Gary. Full pull. Gary comes to us from North Freedom. And up next is your Habercorn score pair. Full pull for that pair. Judges, that's the end of the round. 4 pairs across, 4 pairs in the competition. I want to thank everybody for watching that so nice and silently, and I would definitely want to thank the drivers and the hookers. You did a great job of horsemanship with that pair. If you all watched, it takes all of them to talk and communicate and only let that driver say the hoes, the woes, and the goes to get that team where they wanted them. So thank you, everybody, and congratulations, and thank you, men, for handling that team. We will be adding more weighting going into a next round. Again, we started with 4 pair, and we have 4 pair crossed. Judges have told me we're only going to add 500, so that's going to take us to a 4,500 mark. All right, again, the judges made the decision to put 500, so we're at 4,500, 4 teams going into this. Good job, David. Full pull, 27.5 feet. So some of you may be sitting in the crowd and might remember that I said Josh Wickham, who pulled in our lightweight division last night, they got up to 11,000. And here today, our top weight that started dropping individuals out was 6,000. These horses, these owners, and everybody out here, they work together as a team. The ground makes a big difference as to what you can add for weight, the distance you're going to get. So here the ground is probably much more different than it was last night. Therefore, our top weight in the lightweight division was 6,000 pounds. Good job, Jay. Gary Smith, you're up, followed by Habercorn score pair. $17.6, Gary, for the first pole distance, 17.6. I'm going to use Gary's team as my guinea pig pair here today to point out some samples of different stuff. So I also want you to pay attention to the horse that's facing you. Earlier I had talked about the mane and how and why we kind of cut the mane off and what that all represents. If you also pay attention to that horse's feet, that horse has on flat shoes. It is shoed, however, it has no corks. If you look at the other horses that are out there, so for instance, the one closest to you, it has heel corks and toe corks. Those help dig into the ground. The horse on my side has just a flat shoe. So when that horse is pulling, it is using all of its own foot to dig into that ground and get grip into our soil. And he did a darn good job. Good job, Gary. Full pull on that. So I'll explain that. He unhooked his team, forfeited that second. He took in instantly for the third and got a full pull. He will come back to the next round. Habercorn score pair, you're up. Our driver on this team is Jerry. Jerry was also in our lightweight division. Full pull for this team. Judges, more weight. All right, we're ready. David Cohen's up. Added 500, brings us to a 5,000 weight. Good job, David. Full weight, full pull, 27 and a half feet. Laura Isabel, you're up. Followed by Gary, followed by Habercorn score. I want to share with all of you in the audience, these gentlemen, like I said, they love their sport. After the competition, I do want to say if you can safely cross the track, you are welcome to visit with any of them at their trailers and see their horses up close and personal. However, if you have children with you, and even if you don't have children with you, we ask that you please ask a driver or an owner or someone that's over there working with the horses before you approach them if it's okay. Good job, Jay. Gary, you're up. And then we'll have the Habercorn scores. Gary says, no, thank you. I am so very, very pleased with my horses. And so let's give Gary a round of applause. He is going to draw back on this round. Thank you, Gary, for being with us today from North Freedom. Like I had said, he was my guinea pig pair. He was the one that had the young horse with the mane and also the horse with the flat shoes, and they did phenomenal for him today. So thank you very much, Gary Smith. Habercorn score, you are up.
I already talked to Sharon Kyle.
Any drivers of the lightweight division, if you could make your way to the front stand when you have time, not an emergency, but each and every driver or individual that had a pair in the lightweight, please come to the head table when you have some time. Good job, Jerry. Full distance, more weight. For any of you lightweight drivers wondering why there's more purse to share, so if you can't, you come up here yourself. Please send a representative for more purse. Thank you. Anybody that might be out there that's just joining us, I'd like to say welcome and thank you for coming on over to spectate what we have for you today. This is your Wisconsin Horse Pullers Association, brought to you today by the Beaver Dam Dodge County Fair. We appreciate them inviting us here. We love putting on the competition. I hope that you're all enjoying what you're seeing and enjoying the horsepower that is being presented. And we are ready to get started on this. David Cohn, you're up. 500 pounds brings us to 5,500. We started with 4 teams. We're entering this round with 3. Good job, Dave. Duke and Randy looked good there. I don't know if you guys noticed, sometimes you'll see a team that they're not reeled together. When the weights get heavier, we start to see that a little bit more. Your horses will bebop, not be together. But this team, they got down and they walked, and they took that team across. Their motions were together. So it's always very interesting to watch the teams and how they work together. That is sometimes why you'll get these owners that have more than one horse put their horse with somebody else. One horse might work better with a different horse, so they just move them around and try different things. You want your horse to get down and walk with its partner. You don't want them to be zigging and zagging, and it just doesn't work that way. Good job. So if you watch that team in the beginning, your blonde horse was doing a little bouncing. You realize, oh crap, this has gotten a little bit heavier. So he got himself down into a walk, and together they walked real nice, and we crossed it in a full load. Up next is your Habercorn score pair, Jerry. I like to point that stuff out. It gets to be really interesting if you really pay attention to what the horses do. It's not just getting hooked onto a boat and getting it across or not across. Every horse has to work with its horse. It has to work with its partner. It has to be listening to its driver. So thank you, everybody, for being here today and putting on such a beautiful competition. You might ask yourselves, or maybe not, but I'd like to share that some of these individuals are concrete workers. We have dairy farmers. I know our Cohn family is dairy farming. We have individuals that work at our equity buildings, which are livestock purchasers. We have some that might be construction workers. I know Brian out there, who is currently a hooker, is he works at a construction. We have individuals that work in feed mills. We have semi-drivers. So anybody, regardless of what you do in life, can pick up this sport. I know if you go further north, we have more female competition in this division, up north further. And that was a full pull for Jerry. Judges, round is over. More weight. For those of you staying to enjoy the fair today, I'm going to assume there is a tractor pull of some sort after us. I can hear them putting in behind us. So I know that there's the exhibitors. If you could so much as walk through the barns and show your interest in their animals and exhibits, that would be so nice. The fair puts on concerts. This is a really nice fair, so it is very nice. It's very inviting or welcoming to be invited here with our competition. We're ready, Mr. Cohn. David Cohn, you're up. We're going to be on 6,000 pounds. So the heavies are starting their round of 6,000. This is the weight that we went out on with the lightweight, the first division. So the Cohn family that's here in front of me, this is the individual family that brought the stone boat and all the weights to put today's competition on. It is our father David driving, as well as Bill and Mike. His sons are doing the hooking. So I would appreciate, after he is done, if we could put our hands together and thank him for all that he's done for us today, or we wouldn't be here. Good job, David. "13 feet even." And again, my sincere thank yous for bringing everything down for us today. All right, Lowry Isabel, you guys are up, and then followed by the Habercorn score pair. Our driver on the Lowry Isabel pair is Jay Bowie, and this is Merle and Tater. Quiet, please. Good job. (17'8" was the distance on that one. It looks to me as we disconnected and forfeit our second because there was distance to allow him forward. But we are staying put and going to go into our third pole right away. When we stay put and go into our third pole right away, it does have to be taken in the opposite direction. All right, everybody, this is going to be his third and final pull for this round, so let's be quiet, please. That distance was 15 feet. Again, 18 feet. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please, that was his final pull on that round. He will not go into the next round. He is going to place with 18 feet. However, those loud hoes, woes, goes, I know they're hard to refrain from saying, but we need to not do that. The next competitor is Habercorn Score. David Cohen, after the Habercorn Score, your distance is 13 feet. We'll be asking if you want a retrial. 1 minute. $10.5 was the distance on that. I have just the one distance because the first time he moved, he did not have both hands on the lines, or he did not have a line, therefore it was not a controlled pull. He disconnected, so we are standing there to calm our horses, give them a little bit of a breather, and we will be going right back in, and we will be doing a third attempt. That hookup is the third and final attempt for this round. So again, I emphasize it is important to not do the woes and the goes. Let's give Jerry a fair chance to get this across for his third and final attempt. We're at 6,000 pounds. Good job, Jerry. 8'4" on that pole. David Cohn, are you going to come back in for a retrial? David says, nope, had enough for today, so that is the end of our competition, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank everybody. Our first place winner is going to be your Lowry Zabel pair with a distance of 18 feet. I will have the final results for the remainders in just 1 second. But Lowry Zabel, driven by Jay Bory, if you would please bring your team up here to receive your trophy. Again, remember, middleweights, we have some more purse to disperse, so please come up here or send a representative to get your money from your first round. All right, so our placings as follows. First place is your Lowry Zabel pair, driven by Jay. Second pair is David Cohn. Third pair is the Habercorn Score. And your fourth pair is Gary Smith. Thank you, everybody. That does complete our day with the Wisconsin Horse Pullers Association competition. We appreciate everybody being here, and we thank you for letting us come back another year to put this on for you. Enjoy the rest of your Dodge County Fair. Trace safe travels.